Okay, straight from the mailbox on to the video. If you follow my Instagram channel, I've talked about this package for a little bit, but this is my replacement Spyderco Shaman from DLT Trading. I do want to mention that they not only does it seem like anytime I get something shipped from DLT, it seems to route. I live on the border of 2 states and my mail is all crazy. So a lot of times it ends up hanging out in Atlanta for 2 days. It'll just sit in Atlanta for 2 days. I don't understand what USPS is doing, but that's a whole nother story. Anyway, when my packages come from DLT, they seem to come and they seem to get here earlier than the actual estimated date. But the other thing I wanted to mention before I get right into the knife is, look at how they taped this box up. I mean, they made sure that everything was secured all the way around, even put tape on the flap of the box here, all the way down to here. I don't know if that's gonna, yeah, you can see it there. So this is something that if you ship anything, you know how important this tape is, especially during the holidays. So this is the level of quality that you get dealing with DLT Trading. Again, not sponsored by DLT. This is a knife that I purchased. This is a knife that I sent back for replacement. If you haven't been watching, the Spyderco Shaman that I had, it was very tight when I first got it. So I had it for about a day or two. I decided I was going to carry it, so I decided to loosen the pivot maybe 1/8 of a turn. As soon as the thread locker broke, I stopped twisting. So I noticed then that it had some side to side and some up and down blade play. I tightened it back down a little bit, but I still noticed the blade play. Unfortunately, I did not check for blade play before I adjusted the knife. However, I contacted DLT. They immediately suggested I just send the knife back, because I was calling just to ask if this is something that they're familiar with. Is this something I should just kind of wait it out? Is it just a break-in process? Talked to Hammer. Hammer said, send it in. No problem. We'll have you taken care of. And they had me a replacement within a week. So I'm more than pleased with the customer service that I've gotten from DLT. But enough talking. Let's get into the knife, the package. This is what I'm going to use to open this today. This is my case tribal lock, and I also have a case tribal lock with black Delrin and carbon steel blade. So I'm going to be able to compare the two. Overall, if you're wondering what I think about this knife or how I've liked this knife, I like it. It's smoothed out a lot. There is no side to side play. You can muscle some up and down play. However, if you know about traditional lock back knives, that is pretty common. So I'm not overly concerned with that. It doesn't feel like it's going to fail. The edge is held up fairly well. Anytime I open up a box or a package or need to break down a box, I've been making a conscious effort to use this knife. When I get my replacement, when I get my second tribal lock in carbon steel, I'm going to try to sharpen both of them up, which I had to do with this knife from the beginning. I'm going to sharpen both of them up at the same, and then I'm going to use them and compare the two steels. So for now, let's get back to the Spyderco. You can see, even though the point of this knife is not too pointy, it does do the job. Let's see what we got here. Looks like that's just my personal information and some packing peanuts and some shipping paper and the knife itself. So I'm going to pull this out of the box and we'll give it a look. So, whoops. Well, let's see. You can see here, this is the Spyderco Shaman. It was made the same time. My other one was an HQ. So these are pretty much made in the same run. This one does feel smoother to open, easier to open. It does not drop free. I did ask them to check for blade play. This, I cannot feel any blade play. I'm very happy with the replacement. I think that after some use, this one is going to be great, but this one's not nearly as difficult to open as my first one. Very smooth, no blade play. You can't hear any scraping of the detent ball or the locking mechanism, whichever was grinding, because when I opened my other one, you can hear it. It was like a grinding noise. And I'm going to open this up next to the mic and let you hear it. And I hope you can hear that, but you can tell this is pretty smooth. There's no problem with this knife whatsoever. The centering is good. Let's look at the blade. The blade is nice. The bevel is even. It's not sharpened all the way back, which is common in a Spyderco. The bevels are pretty even from side to side, it appears. One thing that I noticed, and I don't know how well this is going to come out on camera, but I noticed with my first Spyderco Shaman that these knives seem to have a little bit more of a polished bevel, or a little bit more of a finer finished edge. Almost like it's maybe 1,000 grit, or maybe, a little bit past that, 1,200 grit edge on here, which was a little bit different from the other Spydercos that I have owned. Overall, I'm very happy with the replacement. The detent doesn't feel quite as strong. This feels like a much better knife. So I guess that I wasn't overly paranoid. I guess that sending the knife back in was the right thing to do, because my other knife definitely did not feel like this one, at least not out of the box. So I'm going to go and watch some Peaky Blinders because I'm at home today, just hanging out. And I'm going to open and close this, and I'll report back as to how it breaks in. I appreciate you guys watching. Please continue to watch the videos and support. I appreciate all the support. I hope to catch you in the next video. Thank you.